not to cut it down, but thanks for working with us, especially with that, a couple of incidents in Rancho Penasquitos as well. I know that the budget cuts are not anything that you are thrilled about either, and hopefully we can figure out a way to, not result in spending more money down the line. So, for example, which you mentioned early on in your presentation, removing all of the Wi-Fi accessibility equipment and then putting it back up again once we do have money later on is just, it's what, 750,000?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. So it's just, sometimes, we don't think about a short-term cut now could lead to a much larger expense later. And as Councilmember Moreno said, there are a lot of people who obviously rely on that work. So I'm hopeful in the May revise that something can be done to change that allocation. I also, we're getting a lot of emails in the written public comment about the pool issues with swimming and water polo. I'm wondering, is there any other way to mitigate this? I mean, nobody wants to raise fees, permit fees at all, but nobody wants the pools to be closed either. So is there a way to raise fees and see if we could do that to keep them open, or?
Yes, if you don't mind, Councilmember, I'd like to ask Gina Dulay, our Deputy Director for Community Parks 2, who runs the aquatics program, to come forward. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair Lee. Thank you for your question, Council Member. The fees to access our pools and to participate in our programs are in the department's fee schedule. So in order to adjust those fees, you would have to take the fee schedule back to council.
Is that something you're considering to keep the pools open, or not this time? Not
at this time. And just to be clear about the aquatics, the water polo and the swim team cut, this is not a reduction to high school athletics. This is actually a reduction to the swim team and water polo program that we run recreationally.
Okay. But that's still probably quite a lot of young people.
Yeah. So when we look at, when we were preparing these reductions, as Christina mentioned earlier, none of them were easy. So we look back to our priorities in aquatics, and first and foremost is our Learn to Swim programs. Drowning is still the leading cause of death for toddlers 1 to 4, and the second leading cause of death, accidental death, for youth 1 to 14. So Learn to Swim is our number one. We're going to protect that with everything that we have. After that is water fitness. Water fitness, our participants tend to be older adults. And again, in looking to our age-friendly action plan and in looking to ensure that we have programs for all ages, we want to protect that as well. Then comes our recreational programs such as water polo and swim team. And so that was a very difficult decision, but if we were to look at alternative reductions, we would really be looking at reduction in pool hours across the board, which would impact all of the programs that I just mentioned.
Okay, got it. Well, if there is any thinking, going back on next week, we are going over the budgets for, what are we going over, Andy? It's been a long budget week. It's CNS, the Parks and Recreation Center Fund budgets, and the Opportunity Fund budget, and the Recreation Equity Report, which is a huge change. The Parks and Rec has not done equity reports prior to all the work that was done, especially by then Chief of Staff Foster and Councilmember Montgomery's staff. So really glad to see that, especially because we're going to be reallocating money from the higher districts to provide scholarships at lower income districts, and that's incredibly important. I wish we were doing that here today because we could all talk about it, but it's going through CNS first. Okay, well, thank you. I just had to raise the concerns I've been hearing about the pool issues as well. So Carl Mountain Ranch Pool is supposed to be open hopefully sooner in the summer?
Yes, ma'am, that's our goal. The remaining things are we received our office trailers. They're getting connected right now. We're ordering the fence, and the fence is being adjusted as we speak. The last piece is to replace a shower pole to allow for full accessibility access. Once those three elements are done, we're hoping for a summer opening, so we're fingers
Okay.
crossed, yes.
And please do call us if you need help. If you need anything, we want to be helpful. I do have